Sudeva Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati nashtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. In loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Pankajnabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajangriye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nivritta Gunavrittaye Atmaramaya Shantaya Kevalye Pataye Namaha. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for joining. We are reading Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 12, entitled The Mohini Murti Incarnation of the Supreme Lord Bewilders Lord Shiva. So we read till text number 35 yesterday. We were discussing that how Lord Shiva was running after Mohini Murti, and we discussed how Mata Yashoda was running after Krishna, the baby Krishna, Lord Damodar. Quite parallel, like how the devotee runs after the Supreme Lord in greater speed and catches the Supreme Lord. So let's continue with the next verse, text number 36. And we also discussed that how one should not ask for material things like gold and silver. Rather, one should ask for the bhakti from Lord Shiva or any other personality. So we'll move on to the next verse, which is text 36. Today, Subodh Prabhu has also joined. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining. We're happy to have you. Atva gata mahatmeya atmano jagat atmanah aparigyeya virayasya na meni tadhu tadhu adbhutam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus Lord Shiva could understand his position that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has unlimited potencies. Having reached this understanding, he was not at all surprised by the wonderful way Lord Shiva had acted upon him. Read it, 35. Did we read 35? Who remembers? Looks like we didn't read 35 actually. So we'll go back to 35. Did we read? Who remembers?
Yeah, we didn't read 35, Prabhuji.
We didn't?
We didn't.
We did. Okay. Okay. So we'll go to 35. Sorry for this confusion. Skanneretasi so pasyad atmanam deva mayaya jati kritam nripa shreshta sanva Sanyavrita Kashmalat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Maharaj Parikshit, the best of the kings, when Lord Shiva had fully discharged semen, he could see how he himself had been victimized by the illusion created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he restrained himself from any further Maya. Purport. Once one is agitated by lusty desires upon seeing a woman, those desires increase more and more. But when semen is discharged in the act of sex, the lusty desires diminish. The same principle acted upon Lord Shiva. He was allured by the beautiful woman Mohini Murti, but when his semen had been fully discharged, he came to his senses and realized how he had been victimized as soon as he saw the woman in the forest. If one is trained to protect his semen by observing celibacy, naturally he is not attracted by the beauty of a woman. If one can remain a brahmachari, he saves himself from so much trouble in material existence. Material existence means enjoying the pleasure of sexual intercourse. Yan maithunadi grihamedi sukham. If one is educated about sex life and is trained to protect his semen, he is saved from the danger of material existence. Hare Krishna. So, we discussed briefly on this topic yesterday also that an intelligent person should not try to waste the semen, which is the body's vital energy. It is the Sapta Dhatu. It is like we discussed 100 or 1,000 drops of blood make 1 drop of semen. And one should not waste it in the bodily pleasures. Rather, one should use it as per Krishna conscious way, and only Grihasthas are allowed to use it in a legally. And Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:11 that the sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, I am that. So anything less than that is not recommended as per the scriptures. And therefore we see the society going in degraded situation because of teenage pregnancies, teenage, having no marriage system, and pornography and all these websites and videos and stuff, easy access to all these things. So there is lack of this Brahmanical culture, there is lack of brahmacharya, and that leads to degradation. Prabhupada is mentioning that if one can remain a brahmachari, he saves oneself from so much trouble. So, because that's how the nature of material world is. One thinks I will enjoy, but ultimately one ends up in a lot of trouble. So, and no person is one thinks that, oh, I'll be happy after this, I'll be happy after that, after this bodily pleasures, after this it's, but ultimately no one is happy, no one, and the desires never end. It's not that one may experience this and ultimately then he'll say, okay, now I'm saturated. So one is never saturated. It's like adding fuel to the fire. So an intelligent person understands this and takes lesson from the other great souls, and understands the value that one should not let the body's vital energy go in vain, and rather help it to nourish the finer tissues of the brain and help it to develop bodily, physical, and spiritual strength. So very, very important, quite sensitive topic, but very, very important topic as well. Bhagavatam teaches us everything. Anyone else has any comments or questions around this thing? Okay, now we'll move on to text 36. So today is Friday, which means the last day of the week. Anyone who has not read throughout the week, it's your time to read. Throughout the week, you didn't get even one chance to read. Rabir Prabhu, did you get a chance to read?
No, Prabhu, but Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text 36. Atha avagata mahatma atmana jagat atmana aparigyaya virajasya namenit adbhutam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thus Lord Shiva could understand his position and that of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has unlimited potencies. Having reached this understanding, he was not at all surprised by the wonderful way Lord Vishnu had acted upon him. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as all-powerful because no one can excel him in any activity. In Bhagavad Gita 7.7, the Lord says, Matta parattaram nanyat kinchid osti dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. No one can equal the Lord or be greater than him, for he is the master of everyone. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, chapter 5, 142, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ashava Bhritta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the only master of everyone, including even Lord Shiva. What to speak of others? Lord Shiva was already aware of the supreme power of Lord Vishnu, but when he was actually put into bewilderment, he felt proud to have such an exalted master. Hare Krishna. So here Srila Prabhupada is explaining how Lord Krishna actually through Lord Shiva showed us that he is the master of everyone. And Prabhupada is explaining that Krishna is the only Purusha. Actually, everybody is Prakriti, including even Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva knew about that. Just to tell the jivas like us or me that Krishna is the supreme master. No one is equal to him or can be greater than him. And here we see also that Lord Shiva was not, even though he was bewildered transiently, but he was proud to have such an exalted master. I think 2 weeks before His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu was also saying that we can be proud that Krishna, as Krishna is our supreme master. We can be proud of that part. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add your carry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So let's go into the pastime and just try to understand like the situation of Lord Shiva. He was running after the woman and all that Mohini Murti passed through all the forests where the disciples of Lord Shiva, who were or kind of the juniors of Lord Shiva, we can say, were present. And Lord intentionally did that. If you remember, the Lord intentionally did that and to wander at so many places And now, what Lord Shiva is, so an ordinary person would feel kind of like, I'm so fallen, I'm good for nothing, and this and that. But Lord Shiva, look at the humility, at the same time, like spiritual pride, that I am defeated by my master. There is no better pride than look at the greatness of my master. I, who everyone thinks that I am great, I'm a great devotee, I'm a great Mahajan, etc. But my Lord can put me easily into bewilderment. That's what Lord Shiva is feeling here, that how exalted my master is, how great. So Srila Prabhupada also felt very, very nice actually when he was defeated by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, and that's the glory of a true disciple and a true spiritual master. The disciple never thinks that I am greater than the master. Rather, he is happy to be defeated, to become a puppet. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya Yare Yache Nachai. The following verses, the next line is Yare Yache Nachai Se Tache Kare Nritya. As the Ishvara or the Guru makes me one dance, I will dance accordingly. So Lord Shiva was put into dance by the Mohini Murti avatar, and then he just danced and moved around by the Supreme Lord, by the strings of the Supreme Lord. So, any other additions? Any comments? Okay, looks like Lakshay Prabhu wants to read. Yes, please. Text 37.
Tam aviklavam avridam alaksya madhu suddana uvacha parama prito bibhrita swam hausim tanu. Translation. Seeing Lord Shiva unagitated and unashamed, Lord Vishnu was very pleased. Thus he resumed his original form and spoke as follows. Purport. Although Lord Shiva was aghast at the potency of Lord Vishnu, he did not feel ashamed. Rather, he was proud to be defeated by Lord Vishnu. Nothing is hidden from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From He is in everyone's heart indeed. Indeed, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivisto mata smritir janam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Whatever happened had taken place under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore there was no cause to be sorry or ashamed. Although Lord Shiva is never defeated by anyone, when defeated by Lord Vishnu, he felt proud that he had such an exalted and powerful master. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Lakshay Prabhu. Thank you so much for actually reading this verse. Quite similar to the last verse. This verse also explains the emotions of Lord Shiva, that how the two words are used here, aviklavam and avridam. That he was unagitated. Normal persons would certainly be agitated. Hey, what will my followers say? Hey, you are running after the women. You give Bhagavatam classes about the dangers of opposite sex and you're running after women, right? Pretty much that happened because Lord Shiva is always speaking Bhagavatam classes. But Lord Shiva was not ashamed or agitated because look at my master. He can put anyone into illusion, even myself. So, but there is a lesson for us also. Of course, Lord Shiva was bewildered by the internal potency of the Lord. But we are bewildered. I am bewildered by the external potency of the Lord, the Maya Shakti. But the point is that we should share that with our seniors, with our Guru, spiritual master. Nothing is hidden from the Supreme Personality of God. Well, Krishna knows, correct? Krishna knows if I do anything wrong, I may hide from others, I may hide from other devotees, etc. But Krishna knows, because we just read that Krishna knows each and every act of ours. But I am not in a sufficiently advanced position that Krishna will tell me what to do and what not to do. To the very advanced souls, the Lord will reveal directly. But so we need to share with our mentors, seniors, Shiksha Guru, so that we can overcome those challenges. Otherwise, it's like a patient coming to a doctor but hiding the symptoms. The doctor will not be able to give proper treatment if the patient hides the symptoms. So the patient may have some problems, may have some challenges, but the patient should tell that honestly and clearly. Then only the doctor will be able to do proper diagnosis and give the right medicine. Similarly, a spiritual doctor or a guru, the patient or the disciple should tell exactly what's going on. Often, one senior devotee was telling that we often tell the good side. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this for last 5 years, and this for last 2 years, and this seva and that seva. But what am I struggling with? What are my shortcomings that I don't want to tell? But it's like hiding. We hide, then we'll not get the right treatment. So we should not be too bothered also. Rather, we should take that as because if we share, first of all, it will help us only to become better. The first step to overcome our challenge is to understand that there is a need to improve. Those who don't feel the need to improve, then it's fine. And the enemy is kind of invisible. But when we know the enemy, half the problem is solved. That I have this enemy or this weakness to work on. Then we will certainly feel glad about it. At least I shared, at least I consulted the right doctor. So let's see what happens. What did the Supreme Lord speak? Yes, you can't prove you want to. You can't prove, you have your hand up. You want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Drishyatvam Vibhuda Shreshta Swam Nishtam Atmanastitha Yan Me Stri Rupaya Svairyam Mohito Api Angamayaya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O best of the demigods, although you have been amply harassed because of my potency in assuming the form of a woman, you are established in your position. Therefore, may all good fortune be upon you. Purport. Since Lord Shiva is the best of the demigods, he is the best of all devotees. Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. His exemplary character was therefore praised by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gave his benediction by saying, "May all good fortune be upon you." When a devotee becomes a little proud, the Supreme Lord sometimes exhibits his supreme power to dissipate the devotee's misunderstanding. After being amply aroused by Lord Vishnu's potency, Lord Shiva resumed his normal and agitated condition. This is the position of a devotee. A devotee should not be agitated under any circumstances, even in the worst reverses. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 6.22, Yasmin stito na dukkena gurunapi vichalayate. Because of his full faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee is never agitated, even in the greatest trials. His pridelessness is possible only for the first-class devotee, of whom Lord Shambhu is one. Prabhuji, what I feel is when anybody has taken shelter of the Lord, automatically by chanting the Mahamantra, the impurities in the heart are slowly cleansed. So slowly we start developing a feeling that, okay, Krishna is there, he will take care. It's beyond our control. So let's just leave it to Krishna. So even in Prabhupada Leelamrit, he had to go through so many difficulties. Even with the ladies like Mahila Mandal and all that, he had to go through so many difficulties with the politicians and all that. But he has taken shelter of the lotus feet, and everything worked out just like that. So a devotee should always leave it upon Krishna and not be agitated. And I think this purport is more about what I always keep telling you, that I keep getting agitated and my faith keeps fluctuating. So I think we also need to pray Krishna. Yeah, and we need to pray Krishna and chant and just leave it everything on his lotus feet, because he has his own plans.
And we sing kirtans, Prabhuji.
That's it, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chakrika and Sharanya Mataji. So the greatness of a person is tested in provoking circumstances. And what does happen? Provoking circumstances, same as agitating circumstances, right? So when agitation happens, what is in comes out. Like how they agitated the Samudra Manthan Leela, which is going on. First, so many things came out, poison, the other nut, and then the nectar came out. So what is in comes out. Lord Shiva was agitated, certainly. It was a provoking circumstance, but he was not agitated. He came back to his position very soon. He realized that how he was defeated by the Lord. He accepted that, and then he was back to his positions, in his stable position. So when Mount Mandara was being agitated or used as the grinding rod, who came to provide stability? Anyone knows?
Lord himself as a Kurma.
Yes, Lord Kurma or Kachapa avatar. And then there is a lesson there that we should also pray to Lord Kachapa or Kurma to provide stability in our Krishna consciousness. Lord will certainly provide us stability, so that the very nice line, a devotee should not be agitated under any circumstances, even in the worst reversals or reverses, from purport as it is, Prabhupada's words. This means a devotee. Reversals will come in everyone's life, no matter who we are. It could be financial ups and downs, it could be emotional ups and downs, relationships ups and downs, family, loss of family member, etc., etc. So many ways, health ups and downs. It will come. That's the nature of this world, full of reversals. And that is the real test, actually. When things are going rosy and cozy, it's easy to sit on the chair and talk about Bhagavatam. But when things don't go the way we would like them to go, but then how we act is the real test. The greatness is tested in provoking or agitating circumstances. Do we remain stable, or do we also keep moving up and down? That's the real test. And great souls are not agitated. So we also have to try to become one. One should not feel, well, it is for pure devotees or first-class devotees. Prabhupada wanted all of his disciples to become pure devotees. So we have to also at least aspire for that. And one day we'll get there. If we keep, so our test will be small and small, not like Lord Shiva. We don't have to drink poison. The Lord will not test us by becoming like Mohini Murthy. Our test will be small. How we handle those step by step, there will be surprise tests. So in short, this pridelessness is possible. He was completely stable, humble, prideless, Lord Shiva. Because he accepted, only a humble person would accept defeat. And understood that, okay, I am also vulnerable. I was agitated by the Leela Shakti of the Lord. So we should all be careful. He accepted his defeat. Any other comments? Any additions, questions?
So, Prabhuji, whatever said is definitely true, but I think if if we say that a advanced devotee should not be agitated, I think that is more appropriate. Like we all I call myself a devotee, but I don't know can make this happen in my life. But the word would be appropriate. A advanced devotee should not be agitated.
Yes, devotee is at different levels, right? One who chants Hare Krishna once is always also a devotee. One who chants regularly is also devotee. One who chants 24 hours is also devotee. One whom by seeing others start chanting Hare Krishna is also devotee. So a devotee is a very big word and there are a lot of scales in there. So, but we should at least aspire. Okay, I am not here. I'm talking about myself. I'm not here. I'm agitated in ups and downs, but I need to, at least the goal should be high. The goal should be high, and we should keep aspiring for that goal. And if we keep aspiring, keep trying, Krishna will certainly help us to get there. So don't worry, Prabhu, we're all in the same boat. We're all trying. And if we keep trying, then Krishna will be merciful. What do you say?
Yeah, Prabhu, that's the only hope. We can try. I can try. Sorry.
Yes, we all know. You said it right. Okay. Subodhji. Subodh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Please, would you like to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. So text 39. Khonu meti tarin maya vishaktasve trite punam thastanvi srajati bhavandu stra makrita tamabhi. So, translation: My dear Lord Shambhu, who within this material world but you can surpass my illusionary energy. People are generally attached to sense enjoyment and conquered by its influence. Indeed, the influence of material nature is very difficult for them to surmount. So the purport is of the three chief demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all but Vishnu are under the influence of Maya. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are described as Mai, which means under Maya's influence. But even though Lord Shiva associates with Maya, he is not influenced. The living entities are affected by Maya, but although Lord Shiva apparently associates with Maya, he is not affected. In other words, all living entities within this material world, except for Lord Shiva, are swayed by Maya. Lord Shiva is therefore neither Vishnu Tattva nor Jiva Tattva. He is between two.
Thank you, Prabhu, for so nicely reading. My dear Lord Shambhu, so nicely the Supreme Lord is addressing my dear devotee, my dear Lord Shambhu. So the Lord is glorifying. The Lord likes to glorify his devotee. The devotee likes to glorify the Lord likes to glorify his devotee. That, O Lord Shambhu, you cannot be bewildered actually. It was me only who personally came to put you into this illusion or this bewilderment. But you cannot be. So Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that but you can surpass my illusory energy. Who within this world but you can surpass my illusory energy? So people are so much bewildered by this illusory energy, which is very, very difficult to overcome. Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Devi Esha Gunmai Mam Maya Duratteya. So here the word used is Dushtaram. It's not just Dushkara, it's like Dushtaram, the superlative degree is very difficult, not just difficult, very difficult to overcome. By whom? By people who don't, or persons unable to control their senses. So controlling the senses is coming again and again in this whole chapter. In fact, it's the whole theme of Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavatam is basically the examples of Bhagavad Gita into action. How the Lord is teaching that controlling senses is very, very important if we want to overcome. If we keep feeding the senses, it's like feeding fuel to the fire. We will never be able to overcome by feeding fuel to the fire, or by just the senses want, let's say, to do something and we let them senses do that, then they will become more wild. They will not become tamed. They will not become sense controlled, rather senses. It's like compared to a lion. How the lion is tamed is first they starve the lion. And then he said, okay, jump. And the lion jumps. Okay. And then they will give him some food. Okay. So similarly, we can also tame our senses. Okay. I have to do this and I have not to do this. And let the mind and intelligence carry on with the plan. Let the senses direct it. And when also celebrate the wins. That's what they're saying, management. But we can also apply that in our lives as well. That, let's say, we should always try to keep some self-affirmation, and because in general the negativity is so much present around the world, so we should also, okay, if I fast all the Ekadashis, or if I fast do Nirjal, then next day I will eat 2 gulab jamuns, something like that, offered gulab jamun. So that we do some tapasya, we kind of, or something like that. In short, okay, if I complete my goal is to read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, this chapter, this canto in this month. If I do that, then I will get a new kurta or a new dress for my deities, something like that. So setting some spiritual goals and keep encouraging ourselves. And same with children also, we can do same with husband and wife. We can do that. Okay, they want a new toy. Okay, then you have to do this, a spiritual activity, in a positive and a nourishing and encouraging way. And it will be a nice, healthy thing. So the point was to tame our senses. The point was to control our senses. This is the theme of this chapter, because senses are very, very strong. They can be any moment be distracted. The Supreme Lord is saying this is very difficult to overcome. So, all living entities within this world, material world, except for Lord Shiva, are swayed by Maya. So all means all. If one thinks, no, my name is not mentioned, everyone is covered. Okay, anyone else has any other questions around this? So it's almost time, and let me share the plan for tomorrow. So tomorrow His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is going to speak on the glories of Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu's appearance is coming very soon, just about 3 weeks from now. So Maharaj will be speaking at 9 a.m. EST, and we will telecast that on this channel, on this Zoom platform. So please connect, please join. And in the evening, we also have the Bhagavad Gita. We're starting it. So if you have not yet registered, kindly register it as soon as possible, so that we can start this new, fresh reading and hearing, understanding of Bhagavad Gita once again. And if anyone has more time and wants to hear some Hindi discussion of Bhagavad Gita, one of my friends asked me to speak tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So I'm going to do that in Hindi. That's just a one-time thing. But the evening Saturdays will continue every week at 5:30. But this Saturday, tomorrow, this is a one-time Hindi. If anyone wants at 7 a.m., you can message me. I'll share the details. Okay, so we will pause here. So a lot of programs tomorrow. We'll pause here and continue tomorrow. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.